Hello, my friends. Welcome back. This is a quick one. It's a bit impromptu. I've just finished my boxing, so I'm all sweaty. I've got my salmon onigiri, my electrolytes, my protein shake ready to go. Shout out to Mafia for that. Thanks, dude. Yeah, so I was just reading some stuff on Instagram, and I'm a big football fan. Those of you that know me know that. Those of you that don't know, well, now you do. And what's really interesting is there's kind of a big sort of talk around like football coaching, and it's the idea of having your philosophy and having your values, and how how people are getting praised for sticking to their philosophies and sticking to their values despite things going wrong. Ange Postecoglou, Ruben Amorim, like they're two managers, two coaches that have come in and they've got their values, they've got their way of playing, they've got their identity, and it's not going well for them. And it's they're pretty rooted in their ideals. No, this is how we play. This is how we're going to play. This, that, and the other. And don't get me wrong. That serves a purpose to a certain extent. It does serve a purpose. I think it's beneficial. Everybody should have their values and their way of seeing the world and how that what they put out into the world in their own way. And so coaching is part of that. But I don't know. It just seems to me that surely adaptability is the way forward. Like I use those examples of football, but for anything, for any kind of any coaching trade, anything, adaptability has to be the way forward. You have your key values and your key philosophies that you stick to, but I mentioned this before in other videos. Like, it can't be a one size fits all, and if it is, then are you really that good of a coach? Because part of it is seeing the individual, seeing what you have, and working with it. You wouldn't be handed two pieces of wood and be adamant that you can build yourself a mansion because that's what you believe you can do with these pieces of wood. It's not possible. So surely you have to be somewhat adaptable, right? I know that's an extreme example that I've used, but the point stands in the idea that, having your coaching values and philosophies is really important. It is important, and it's something that over time I've picked up more and more of, and I've learned more and more of. But the reason I've been able to pick up more and change it is because I've tried to remain adaptable. Now there's a lot in there that I have to still learn, I have to still understand. It's always an ongoing process, and so this idea that, I don't know, maybe it's the way that say media outlets put it across, but the idea that these are our values, this is how we do things, this is how it will be, despite it getting bad. It's like, come on, like, you've got to be better than that, particularly for something like high-end sport, high performance sport. It's you've got to just be better than that. There was an example I was also thinking of. I'm a big rugby fan. I remember growing up watching the Six Nations. It's on at the minute, and one of the classics was, if you get the chance, look it up. It's Mauro Bergamasco playing at scrum half. Now, those that don't watch rugby won't know what those words mean, but Mauro Bergamasco was a flanker, right? He's a forward, and he got put in as a scrum half for the start of a game. And it went terribly. I believe it was against Wales. He was picking up, throwing balls, flinging balls, and he got hooked. He got hooked at some point during the game. Now, that's because the Italian coach was able to see the problem and adapt around the problem. Now, it was a bit odd that he was put in to begin with, right? It was a bit of a shock. Scrum halves are usually small and nippy. This guy's was 6'3" and like a big bulky unit. So it was really odd that he was put in to begin with, but the coach was able to see that and adapt around that. Now, if he was like, nope, we have our principles, we are going to stick with having Mauro as our scrum half, what do you stand to gain from that? What does the team stand to gain from that? What do you as a coach stand to gain from that? And what does the individual of Bergamasco stand to gain from it? He's been made to look like a dick for 80 minutes. And so that's the kind of the whole thing. Is it's like you kind of run the risk of realistically like making yourself look like a bit of a dick for whatever it is due to your lack of adaptability. So yeah, that's kind of it really. Just needed to get that off my mind. Just with regards to, I know I used specific football examples, but with anything, I think that we need to encourage adaptability. I think we need to encourage adaptability more within our own passions and within our own industries, because then we can change more and we can begin to innovate more, you know. Whereas if we just do things because that's how we've always done it, nobody stands to learn anything from that. Nobody stands to gain anything from that. So, yeah, thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful time. I'll see you next time.